art museum and call it beautiful bald-headed woman.
I mean, I don't dislike the photo. It is kind of artistic. I don't see underwater sea creature.
I don't see underwater sea creature. I see
perhaps
black t-shirt that got bleach spilled on it, and now you're just trying to rock it.
Yeah. So in any case, the evidence was taken seriously and presented to the House Commons in London, but immediately met with backlash.
Because they're like, dude, that's bleach on a t-shirt?
You know, you would think, because that's what I see, but remember, this is the 70s, we have very different technology now.
Psychotropic drugs.
So actually what they were questioning was the method used to enhance the photo. So they thought the enhancements were actually just changing it. Yeah.
Okay.
So again, as with the Mars face, part of the issue is how low quality the photograph is based on the technology of the time. Another reason for the backlash is that based on the enhanced photo, which doesn't look like a whole lot, Peter Scott, who was a respected naturalist who was backing the study, basically declared that the creature was a plesiosaur. Plesiosaur?
Plesiosaur? Okay.
Yeah. Which is an extinct dinosaur.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So this is what a plesiosaur looks like.
Supposedly.
I assume we actually have fossil evidence of plesiosaurs.
I'm sure. Look at it.
It's kind of like, what were the long necks?
Brontosaurus? Or...
Yeah, are they still called Brontosaurus?
They're not called Brontosaurus anymore. They're called...
Yeah, it's the long necks from Land Before Time. Yeah. It's like them, but with flippers.
Yes.
That's what a plesiosaur looks like.
They're so cute.
But the assertion that Nessie was actually an extinct dinosaur was too much for many modern zoologists to accept.
Yes.
And I think that's fair.
I mean, that is fair.
Yeah. So, what about the surgeon's photo? Because the plesiosaur actually is consistent with that photo.
I mean, it is. That photo, yeah.
Right? Well, in 1979, a man named Alistair Boyd and his wife had a sighting of the creature. And he became essentially obsessed with collecting all the information he can about the legend and evidence and whatever. Like, he saw it for himself, and now he has to learn everything.
To know everything.
I get it. A few years into this obsession, a friend of his, David Martin, found an old newspaper article from 1975 in which Marmaduke's son, Ian, claimed that the surgeon's photo was a hoax.
Oh.
So Boyd did his own investigation and came to the conclusion that it was most likely a hoax.
Ah.
So this...
Damn you, Marmaduke!
So, the iconic photo that everyone has seen is a cropped version of the original photograph. The original photograph looks like this.
Oh.
It's tiny.
It is so small.
It's tiny because... Okay, perspective matters.
Yeah,
and you
it
need
does.
The full thing.
It does.
So, allegedly, Marmaduke Wetherell's stepbrother, Christian Sperling, confessed at age 93 that after the hippo foot hoax, Marmaduke was upset with the way he was being treated by the media.
Duh.
And decided to double down and create this hoax as revenge.
Oh, Jesus.
And here's how it went down. So, first, he had Christian... stepbrother, create the model of Nessie by crafting a plastic and wooden head and neck and attaching it to a toy submarine.
Oh, okay.
Which kind of looks like this.
Okay.
I
mean, kind of talented doing that. I mean,
right?
You know.
I mean, I would think to do it with plastic and wood would be kind of difficult. I would think... Nowadays, we'd use, like, modeling clay or something.
Yeah,
but maybe when that gets wet... I've never tried to get modeling clay wet after it dries. Too heavy.
I don't know. Paper mache would just dissolve.
Right? Anyway, so they put the head and neck on the back of a toy submarine.
Okay.
Then Marmaduke and his son Ian staged the photograph and convinced Dr. Wilson to take the photograph through a shared mutual friend named Maurice Chambers.
Okay.
So they had like a friend of a friend thing.
Okay.
So Marmaduke and Dr. Wilson didn't have any obvious direct ties. But it was a friend of a friend.
A friend of a friend. Okay.
Yeah. So he convinced him to take the photograph and sell it to the press, and voila. Hoax achieved. So reports of the hoax were widely published in 1994 after Boyd came forward. It was... One article posted. The This is not social
Published?
media. Published in 1975, but it didn't get a lot of attention.
It didn't get a lot of attention. Didn't
So-
get circulated.
Boyd came back and came forward in 1994 after he did all his research and said, no, it really is a hoax.
No, it really
And
is
that
a
was
hoax.
published widely. Some people doubt Boyd's claims
Okay.
because they don't believe toy submarines of the era would have been able to be repurposed in that way.
And I also don't think they would have been able to hold a wood and plastic... I don't know. I got
don't
nothing.
know.
I got nothing.
But also because he waited until after Christian Sperling, the stepbrother, died to reveal it all.
Oh,
So they couldn't confirm it with him.
right.
And at that point, he was the last living survivor of the hoax.
Okay, all right.
But most people do accept that this is the truth.
probably
It was a
not.
hoax. So, for his part, Boyd does not believe that Nessie herself is any less real just because the photo was a hoax.
Okay, but the photo was bullshit, but he
Yes.
still believes in the creature.
So he was quoted as saying, I am so convinced of the reality of these creatures that I would actually stake my life on their existence.
Dramatic.
Yeah, I trust my eyesight. I used to make my living teaching people how to observe, and I know that the thing I saw was not a log or an otter or a wave or anything like that. It was a large animal. It came heaving out of the water, something like a whale.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, the part that was actually on the surface when it stopped rolling through was at least 20 feet long. It was totally extraordinary. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. And if I could afford to spend the rest of my life looking for another glimpse of it, I would.
Damn. What with these dramatic ass, like, dedicated...
If it helps, he was an artist.
Okay, all right.
If that explains some of the drama.
A little bit.
The drama
He's
and the
dramatic.
passion.
It's not
and
like he was
he's
a
an artist.
science teacher that went whole hog, but...
Yeah. So when
you
he
know.
says, I used to make a living teaching people how to observe, he was an artist.
Okay,
An art
all
teacher.
right. Macaroni pictures leads to cryptograph, or cryptozoology.
Yeah. So there have been several expositions since the 1970s.
I would hope.
Yes. And I'm going to quote, all of this now comes directly off of the PBS Nova website.
Okay.
Okay. So that quote did also, just saying.
All right, well, fine.
But so in 1987, an expedition called Operation Deep Scan used a flotilla. They actually used the word flotilla. I was so excited. Honestly, okay, not gonna lie. When I read the word flotilla, that's when I decided to just quote it because I can't. They used flotilla. I cannot upgrade
Nope.
this statement.
No, you cannot.
It's already at
There
its
you go.
peak, so we're just gonna
You've
copy
reached
it.
flotilla status. We are not fucking with you.
Nope, flotilla. You win. I'm
You
just
win.
gonna quote
You're
you.
done.
So, in 1987, an expedition called Operation Deep Scan used a flotilla of 20 sonar-equipped boats to sweep the loch with a curtain of sound. I can't do any better than this.
No, this is fantastic.
The operation yielded 3 underwater targets that could not be explained.
Okay.
In the early 1990s, the BBC's Nicholas Witchell helped organize Project Urquhart.
Okay.
It's Urquhart. I'm
Okay.
going with
I mean, that looks like
Urquhart.
Urquhart.
See? Urquhart.
Or like
Anyway, the first...
Urukai.
Urukai, oh no!
All right.
Project Urquhart.
Urquhart.
The first extensive study of the loch's biology and geology. Although they weren't looking for monsters, the expedition's sonar operators detected a large moving underwater target and followed it for several minutes before losing it.
Okay.
And during the 1997 expedition featured in Nova's Loch Ness film, which I totally want to watch,
I'm gonna watch that now.
Rhines and his longtime colleague Charles Wyckoff detected yet another puzzling underwater target.
Mm-hmm.
According to the expedition's sonar expert, marine biologist Ann Carr, it was a moving target, appeared to be biological in nature, and was about 15 feet long, the size of a small whale.
Oh.
Whew. Okay, big quote, but that's what they did.
Yep, we're good.
So,
Thank you, flotilla.
in 2018,
Okay.
a massive environmental DNA analysis was done of the lake to determine what kinds of creatures were living in it.
Okay.
So basically, from what I gathered, they just take a bunch of samples of the lake from everywhere. Like shore, center, blah, the bottom, all over the place. And analyze that for any DNA they can find.
Okay.
Because theoretically, there's creatures just shedding DNA all the time.
We would hope.
Yeah. So they specifically wanted to analyze theories that Nessie was a plesiosaur, a giant catfish.
Oh my god, that would
How big is that catfish?
Right? What the fuck?
Yeah. A giant sturgeon.
Again, Jesus.
Very large, but I think they're already bigger than catfish anyway, so...
They are deep sea fish, I think, so...
Yeah. A Greenland shark.
Okay.
They're big and old.
They're big and old.
I actually want to do an episode on Greenland sharks at some point.
The one where the poor, like, old lady shark is, like, looking confused, like, hey, what are you doing here? Where's my butterscotch?
I don't know what you're talking about, but I want to.
The picture! Have you seen the picture of the Greenland shark?
No!
It looks like, oh my god, you have to look it up. It's this poor little toothless shark, like, looking off guard. Like, if you went up to an old lady and went, boogity boogity boo! And she's like, huh? It's fantastic.
Okay, well, I want to do an episode on Greenland sharks, so maybe I'll have to include that photo.
The picture.
But anyway, that's one of the theories that Nessie's really a Greenland shark.
Okay.
Or eels.
I'm sorry, eels?
Eels.
Like a flock of eels?
I guess.
A school of eels?
I don't know.
A fuck ton of eels?
I'm not sure what they're really suggesting when they say that Nessie is eels.
Like, it's like 40 eels that are like, let's fuck with people. Everybody, grab your tails.
School of eels.
Schools of eels.
Anyway, so they found no evidence of any of these things except the eels. So now, the speculation or suggestion is that these sightings are actually of a massive overgrown eel.
Or a massive school of eels fucking with people.
Maybe.
Oh god, the guy's coming with the camera. Everybody, do your impression of a plesiosaur.
Positions, everybody! It's showtime!
We practiced this!
In any case, the myth is popular and profitable.
Yeah.
Some estimates say that it has contributed over $80 million to the Scottish economy in the 21st century.
Holy shit.
Yes. So,
those are some fucking talented eels.
Yeah. So there you go. That is Nessie in a nutshell. Because seriously, I could have done so much more.
Oh, yeah.
But that was already 5 pages of material, and I didn't want to get too long on the episode. You know, we try to keep it reasonable in length when we can.
Yes.
So, there you go. If you enjoyed the podcast, please leave us a review, especially on Apple Podcasts, because that is so helpful. Like, share, and subscribe. You can find us on social media. We are on Facebook at Our Trivial Obsessions. We are on Instagram at Our Trivial Obsessions. We are on YouTube, Our Trivial Obsessions. We are on Twitter at Our Trivial Pod.
Gonna throw that one off.
You know, I couldn't get the other one.
You tried.
We have a website, www.ourtrivialobsessions.com. That is where you will find our extras and our references. So head out there to see the pictures we were talking about, because we probably didn't do them justice when we described them, but we tried.
We did try.
And you can email us at randomqueensobsess@gmail.com. Random.
Because we are.
Queens.
Because we are.
Obsess.
Because we do.
Email us there with any topic requests that you would like to see us do on a future episode. And that is the end of episode 15.
Episode 15.
Happy New Year. We'll see you next week.